Well, John brought us this really cool 69 Z28 Trans Am car. And the story has it that a fellow named Bill Fryer, who was a student at the University of Pittsburgh, wanted to be a Trans Am racer. Well, Donahue was also associated with the university, and he was able to pull a few strings at Penske and get their engineers to help develop and build this car. Pretty cool for a university student to be a Trans Am racing in 1969. Well, in 1970, he goes 24 hours at Daytona and does fairly good. Well, as soon as we got this car in the air, it didn't take a genius to figure out this car has led a hard life. You can see it's pretty beat up. So the first thing we did is we took it to the frame shop, made sure that the car was still square. There's no point getting into suspension if the frame's twisted. The frame actually is very nice on this car as far as squareness goes. So the second thing we did is we started trying to identify what all the components were on this car. Somebody had gotten to this car after it had been raced in 1970. Somebody's put in a Corvette spindle, which was probably a Penske Trek, put in a Corvette spindle. They've used a Camaro A-arm, but they've cut off the end of the A-arm so they could use a Corvette ball joint. They've also relocated the lower control arm, and they've moved it down, which we're not sure about it until we run it through the camber curve to see if that's going to work. I doubt it very much. The second thing is somebody's put in springs, and this is John's problem, is he didn't realize how much had been changed in this front end. They were ordering parts for a Camaro when in essence some of the pieces are for a Corvette.
In 1968 and 69, Penske and Donahue were virtually unbeatable. Bob Fryer, a racer and a student at the University of Pittsburgh, had close ties to Donahue. With their assistance, this Camaro became one of the most recognized non-factory cars to compete during the heyday of Trans Am. The car competed in the 24 Hours of Daytona and contested the 1970-71 Trans Am and SCCA season. The car is virtually identical today to the way it raced over 3 decades ago.
Car to drive. Nothing like driving a vintage Trans Am car. These original Goodyear bias-ply tires, you just get them out 5-10 degrees and it feels like you're just sliding around the whole corner. Just an awesome, fun car to drive. It's going to be at least 10-12 seconds a lap faster. This thing just cooks.
Well, we've got our results from TrackMate for the road course, and I might be a bit surprised the Trans Am car was the quickest.
It felt the quickest, too.
It sure looked like the quickest.
How much quicker was it?
13 seconds quicker than the car that was quickest on the road course.
And the most fun to drive.
How would I know?